We're active in about 15 campuses, and we're growing very, very quickly. And keep in mind, this is not just a flash in the pan movement. We're going to become an institution to give them the power and the confidence to stand up and let their voice be heard. I started this organization when I was 18 years old. I decided not to go to college. I didn't get in my dream school, which was the United States Military Academy at West Point. I have this idea to galvanize and motivate the future youth of this country around a core set of ideas, not just political parties or politicians. And the ideas are really America's the greatest country in the history of the world. The Constitution is the greatest political document ever written, and free enterprise is the most assured way to lift people out of poverty and create prosperity for all. Those are the three big ideas. And I think that's something that can win. We as Christians are called to go into the public arena to correct error with truth. So I go to college campuses and there's a lot of error. We're all sinners. We all live in error. I'm far more interested in what God wants of me than what I want from God.
I have to say this without getting emotional, but I'm very proud of my husband. And I know many of you are too. You have worked so hard. And I know a lot of you have seen, obviously, his videos on TikTok and all the stuff he does on campus, but no one gets to see him from my angle except for myself and our children. And the sacrifices that he made this year, he's amazing. I'm very blessed.
And I would not have been able to do any of it without Erica. And that's the real truth. I'll tell you what. You are here as a grassroots response to the top-down revolution happening in this country. I want our Turning Point USA students to receive a round of applause. These are the freedom fighters of America.
The media said that Turning Point could never run a ground game. They weren't experienced. They didn't know Charlie, right?
This is the greatest generational realignment since Woodstock. This generation is the most conservative generation that we have seen in well over 50 years, and the numbers show it. What young people especially are screaming at is they say, give me a structure that I can live my life by. And especially with young men, more challenging of them, more saying, you know what, honestly, I'm not gonna talk down to you. Stop being a boy and become a man. You want to learn what that means? Come to church and I'll tell you what it means to become a man. Because we have the greatest story ever told. What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day because you are doing the work to save this beautiful republic. You are doing something that is bigger than you.
If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
All right, we're back. Had some tech difficulties. We should be Gucci now. We're going to jump right into what we were going to before the break, which is apparently everybody's saying the Steve Bannon rant's great. I've not seen it, so we'll go right to it since we're running low on time.
And there is a time and place, and that's happening now, to nurture and comfort the widow and the orphans in this case, or the little children with no father, and the young employees over at Turning Point. But there's also a time and place for this, and this is now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, now. They gave that speech in Tampa at Charlie's gathering in mid-July. Little did I know that 60 days later, it would be relevant to the assassination of one of the greatest young men of his generation, in cold blood execution. The investigation, not just of what happened in Utah and who was the shooter, how did it happen, details, second by second, we have to know, we must know.
That's right.
We owe it to Charlie Kirk, to Charlie Kirk's work, to Charlie Kirk's life's work, to honor him like we honor our war dead. Because Charlie Kirk, and I hate when I say this, they were all over me the other day. Oh, Bannon says he's a war casualty. He's a war casualty in this war to save the greatest country in the history of mankind.
He's right.
And I told you for years it was going to come to this. I told you it was going to come to this. And now that they're murdering at a rate of, the kids every couple of weeks, prominent figures, and trying to intimidate you and taking 2 shots at President Trump, now they want to have unity. They always want unity when they're caught or they're losing. You designate them a terrorist organization, then all kind of good things happen. You start subpoenaing telephone records, text messages. You go to the telephone companies like they went on us and took all our stuff. Fine, do it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. See the interconnection. See who's financing them. See who's contacting them. See what politicians are working with them.
Yep.
See what media types are working with them. And then we ought to round up the media types that are working with them as accessories. This is doable. And if you want to avoid a civil war, it needs to be done today. Use the powers of the state. We happen to be in charge. You that lifted President Trump on your shoulders when he had every reason in the world not to do it again, and he came back and said, I'm going to do it. We must do it because we cannot allow to stand the big steal of the 60. And look at the people against us. Number one, they stole it, then lied about it, then crushed and tried to send us all to President Trump too. Then they knew they had somebody that had no mental capacity. When he's there, didn't have it, and they covered that up and then tried to run him again until he epically failed at the debate.
Which is wild.
Are you kidding me? Look at what these people have done. Look what they've done to our country. Look what they've done to our children. And you want to sit there and say, now it's time for unity? No, we do not want unity, and we will not accept unity. We will only accept victory. And when the Katie Brits of the world and all these rhinos start talking about victory, then we'll start listening to you. All we care about is winning.
That's right.
Why? Because that's what's going to save our country. What did Charlie Kirk give his life for at the age of 31? Why does Charlie Kirk's son not have a father? Why does that precious little daughter not have a father? Why does the grieving widow grieve? If you're prepared to accept that, you're prepared to give your country over to the most evil people on earth. This is a test from Almighty God. You're either with us or you're against us. As Christ says, if you're lukewarm, we'll spit you out of our mouth.
Amen.
We'll take a short break. Tage Gill, Dr. Bradley Thayer will join me on the other side.
He's pissed, and he should be. And he's 100% right. We can't work with these demons. There's no unity. Katie Britt and all these other retarded gay-ass Republicans, we got to come together. There's no coming together. We tried that. Charlie Kirk tried that more than probably any human being alive right now on the right and the left. Either side. I mean, do you know anybody who does what Charlie Kirk does? I mean, I guess Steven Crowder did a little bit, would change my mind. But, of course, Steven Crowder had to stop it because of threats. They said they were spending like tens of thousands of dollars for every single change my mind. They couldn't keep up with it. That's something you should also think about, too, when you're thinking about, well, who's the violent ones? Well, even though I'm not a big fan of Ben Shapiro, I was watching a documentary, No Safe Spaces, with Adam Carolla and Dennis Prager and some others. He had to spend almost $1 million in security just to give a little less than an hour speech. The left winger who was there before him spent just about $0. Why is that? Why does somebody on the right, whether you agree with them or not, it's just a fact, have to spend almost $1 million in security fees, whereas people on the left don't have to spend anything? They can just walk right up, give a speech, and they leave. How come when George Floyd, the big dumb retard who had enough drugs in the system to take down motherfucking Godzilla, died of overdose while he was in police custody, and people literally burned down the entire world for him? Did anybody have to board up their windows for Charlie Kirk? That wasn't even a thought that even went into the minds of the mom and pop shops of the city. They didn't board up. The reason they didn't have to board up because they know that conservatives aren't violent. Can you find examples? You can find examples to literally anything in existence. Sure, you could probably find some random asshole in Alabama who wants to hurt some kind of left winger. What's true overall? What's true for the majority? And the majority is that the right are not the violent ones. Everybody knows that. No cities are burning right now. No cities are burning. For somebody who didn't deserve it, somebody who was an innocent. We can't have unity to people who are dancing on the grave, literally, of an innocent man. People who, and you guys can check my YouTube tabs on the community tab. I've been posting a lot of them. My Instagram. I've just been screenshotting everything. I've been screenshotting everything I can of the left and just reposting it. Them saying they're glad, not just they're glad Charlie's dead, but they say go after his wife next, go after his children next, go after Matt Walsh next. They want to kill you because they can't debate. They can't debate. If their viewpoint was so sound or was so just, they would go to every debate they possibly could and just tear apart every conservative. But they know they can't do that because they're so fucked. They know that they are the bad guys. They are the villains. They have no good thing to say. So they don't go to these debates to debate. They want to kill you. Shout you down, scream. It's like at best, they want to just go up to the microphone and scream their heads off like demons. At worst, they want to kill you. We have some of that here. I thought we did. My notes are all over the place. Second. My notes are really all over the place. My God, what is going on here? I apologize, guys. This is all over the freaking place. Yeah, but we'll get to that. We'll get to some of the left cheering on. Here we go. Got one at least right here. I was looking for the montage. We'll find that. We'll take breaks soon. I'll find that montage. This is the left. This is who they are. And you look at these posts. Well, that's just one guy. No, you look at the posts. There's 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 likes to these posts. Some of these TikTokers have over 1 million followers. It's the majority.
Is it wrong if I say fuck his wife and his kids too? Bitch, I don't give a fuck about.
Oh, God, he's gay and black. God damn, that's a double whammy right there. I was not prepared for that.
Is it wrong if I say fuck his wife and his kids too? Bitch, I don't give a fuck about any of them. I promise you I don't. Y'all like fuck him, but condolences to his wife and his 2 kids. Fuck them all. Who said we had to care about them? As if they do not live and operate under the same ideologies as him, as the father and the husband. Is it wrong if I say
to a 1-year-old? You're saying fuck you to a 1-year-old? To a 3-year-old? I think we can use the word nigger in that context. Right? I think that gives us an end pass. I like how people talk about like empaths. It's like, there's some conservative black guy I follow. I think he's great, but he's like, I give you guys all the empaths to use it. I'm like, I love you, bro, but I already have it. It's from the founders. I got one.
Of American history and American.
Oh, that's not the video I wanted. Where's the video I wanted? Hang on, hold on. The one thing I don't like about
want to like
we have this dude right here. I don't like bookmarks on X because they're all over the place.
Somber day.
okay. So, sir,
Has a mask.
again, your reasoning on how we deserved it. God bless America. Yeah, you're right. God bless America. And freedom of speech is real. You're correct.
It absolutely is.
But shooting a gun at someone and killing them isn't a form of freedom of speech, like you said it is.
Oh, I never said that.
You did. You said that you're glad that he got shot because it's freedom of speech in America.
God bless America.
Then say it again, so I can have it on video,
God bless
so that
America.
I can rewatch and
God bless
re-listen.
America.
God bless America.
If you disagree with that, then
You
yeah.
need God, my sir. You need to
haven't.
find God. Why don't you show your face?
I haven't.
Show your face.
God bless America.
Show your face, sir.
God bless America.
Come on, show your face. Don't be scared.
God bless America.
Don't be scared.
God bless America.
I mean, taking God's name in vain. That motherfucker's going to hell. They always cover up their face, just like Antifa. All those faggots in Antifa. They can't ever show their face because they know they're ashamed of what they've done. If you're proud of what you've done, if you're proud of what you say, you're going to show your face. Antifa does not show their face because they know they're ashamed. They know they're the villains. We'll keep going with this.
As much as you want to play the, oh, loving father.
Why are they always so fucking ugly? No, like seriously, like I gotta hold on real quick. For like the left side, why does every left winger have like a shaved head, blue hair, green hair? Could you probably maybe find a conservative that kind of looks like that? Maybe, but it's not true for the overall. There's exceptions to everything in life, like I said. But for most liberals, the piercings all over their face, green hair. It's like they're purposely ugly. Like they go out of their way to be ugly. But why though? It is exclusive to them. I'm not even trying to like be insulting right now. I'm just curious about it. Why? Why do you look hideous? Why do you do this to yourself? Because a lot of these left wingers, I hate to give them credit, but some of them are actually kind of pretty. It's like you could tell, like their face, like they're good looking if they tried, but they don't. They're hideous, purposely hideous. You wonder why? Why did they do it?
Oh, loving father didn't deserve that. Poor kids. I actually genuinely believe that Charlie Kirk's children, especially his daughter, would have been in more danger had his life continued on. Because he literally said, quote, that if his daughter got he would force her to carry the baby to term, give birth to it, and raise it.
That's not what he said.
Does that sound like someone who should have kids to you? Or someone who we should be calling CPS on? His kids are 1 and 3, by the way, so the likelihood of them remembering.
I can't look at her anymore. So yeah, they always use extreme examples. Like, what if your 7-year-old got raped? The point Charlie was making, and then like he said, either it's a child or it is not, because he said he's not for the exception of rape. A lot of people for Trump said the 3 exceptions: rape, incest, or life of the mother. I don't know a single human being on the planet that is against life of the mother, but of course, life of the mother is incredibly rare. It almost never happens where it's like, I have to have an abortion or I'm going to die. That's almost like non-existent. And the rare ass times that it happens, sure, everybody's for it. We hate to see it. It sucks. But if it has to be done, it has to be done. Nobody's against the life of the mother. any kind of ailments or anything like that. But a lot of people are against abortion in terms of rape because it's either a human or it's not. It's not like, well, it's horrible how it was conceived. Well, yeah, but I mean, either it is a human being or it is not. It's either true or it is not true. That was the argument that Charlie was making, that it is a human being. It's not, well, this doesn't count because it was unfortunate. It was like people saying, we were really drunk and we banged and now we're pregnant. It's like, well, it's maybe you didn't mean for it to happen. You made a mistake, but it's either a child or it is not. It is, speaking of, I actually wasn't planning on playing this right now, but it just popped up on my feed because I was kind of scrolling on X. This is a great clip from Charlie. Can I bring this up? We got to do palate cleanser. Little palate cleanser. Here we go.
Do you think abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped 40% after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Women.
Black people. Is that so? Are you trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime?
Crime dropped 40% after abortion.
I actually didn't know that ending ended the way that it did with the song and all. I gotta watch that again.
Abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped 40% after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Women.
Black people. Is that so? Are you trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime? Abortion lowers crime rates?
Oh my god, I'm gonna. Oh my god, I'm crying. Oh, that caught me so off guard. Oh my god, I'm going to bookmark that one. Oh my god, we might have to watch that again before the stream's over. Oh my god, I'm crying. That was really good, but he's right though. He's 100% right. Oh my god. We'll do one more palate cleanser before we get into the thick of it. One more palate cleanser. When I say palate cleanser, I mean we're seeing Charlie at his best. This is what he does, and he does it better than anybody. I have about like a couple clips here.
Please explain to everyone out here what Jesus stood for, and especially the qualities of love, how to love your neighbor even if they don't agree with you.
So what is your name again?
Talise.
Talise, that's a beautiful question. I'm glad you came up to ask it. So John 8, if I'm drawing from memory correctly, best embodies both Christ's mercy and love, but also his commitment to truth. And sometimes in the modern gospel, we overemphasize the grace and we underemphasize the truth.
Yeah.
And so we are far too willing to say, hey, Jesus loves everybody, but we don't get to the second part of the conversation that says Jesus doesn't want you to live in sin. So this is, in John 8, it's best embodied, right? Almost every Christian in this audience will be able to tell you the first part of this, which is a bunch of Sadducees and Pharisees who are standing around with rocks, and they're about to stone the prostitute woman. And Jesus comes up and says, let the first among you without sin cast the first stone. And everyone starts dropping the rocks. But what comes next shows that Christ is not just grace-focused, he's simultaneously truth-focused. He goes up to the woman who had a career in selling herself for sex and said, sin no more. Now, imagine today how much trouble you would get in if you would go up to somebody and say, stop sinning. You're being too judgmental. No, you're actually being Christ-like. So Jesus stood. He was 100% grace and truth. And that tension is very hard in a modern world because we want to overemphasize grace when in reality, Christ loves us too much to have us continue to live in sin. He wants us to try to elevate our actions to glorify God in all that we do.
Amen. Amen. I mean, you gotta say, like, better than anybody on the left and the right who can articulate their arguments like that. I can't, because I'm kind of retarded. Charlie can. Probably better than most. Where were we going to go with this? Not here. No, we won't play that. We won't get to the Kash stuff right now. We'll do some Kash Patel stuff after break. But I think we will. There's too many videos right now. Way too many videos on the intolerant left. We do have closing statements from JD Vance. Bethesda, video game company who obviously makes Elder Scrolls. They produce a lot of games. I don't really like the Bethesda games. When Bethesda makes a game, it's almost never good. It's a buggy, horrible mess. I mean, Elder Scrolls, you can go to like any game right now, Skyrim or Oblivion, it's still a glitchy mess. They can never patch it enough. But they quickly deleted a lot of stuff. We'll see if we can bring it up real quick. I know I bookmarked it. I swear to God I did. Have it here. Maybe I can. That is another one we are. Maybe we don't. Hang on, I'll find it. I think this is the opportunity we needed to finally abolish the list free speech for forever. What do you mean? Yeah, I guess I don't have that clip. My bad, guys. I thought I had that clip saved. Maybe I do not. We'll find that on break. There's a couple things we'll get together for break. We do have yeah, I apologize, guys. I thought I had that. I do not. We'll go to the roommate stuff real quick with the text messages before we go to break. And I'll try to find those clips I was talking about. So, Tyler Robinson's transgender partner and roommate, Lance Twiggs. So it's a man trying to be a woman, which makes him gay. So they cut off the top bar, but he says, I'm the one that did it in so many words. I killed Charlie Kirk. You're joking, right? And just say, like, there's a lot going on with these text messages. A lot of people are saying they're staged. The feds are involved. We'll see. I'm still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer. Shouldn't be long until I come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep the secret till I died of old age, but I'm sorry to involve you. Who the fuck talks like that? You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated somebody in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet. Almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of this hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I have left no evidence. I'm going to grab it and retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them fighting it. How long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't wanna chance it. I'm wishing I'd circle back, then grabbed it as soon as I got on my vehicle. I'm worried about my old man would do if I didn't bring Grandpa's rifle. IDECK. IDECK. It had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about the prints. I had to leave it in the bush where I change outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F word will I explain losing it to my old man? Who calls their dad their old man at age 22? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. He didn't have no towel when he jumped off that building. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F word messages are mostly a big meme. Why would he explain that to his boyfriend? They were a meme. You know those? You know those things on the internet that you see and you laugh at every once in a while? They're memes. This whole thing is so weird. The effing messages were mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ew on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a 2K scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Since Trump got into office, this guy's talking a lot without any responses back. Clearly, his gay transgender boyfriend does not want to have anything to do with him. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm going to have to turn myself in willingly. Maybe I'll drop the soap on purpose. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love, gay. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. I imagine their voices are like that. I can't be far off. I try to make it accurate. So that sounds weird, right? I'm not crazy. That does sound... Who talks like that? Who types out their messages perfectly punctuated, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed that part? I am, comma, I'm sorry. No, comma, they grab some crazy old dude, comma. We don't do that. When you talk to your friends, you just type. You don't give a shit about punctuation. Maybe a little bit, but not that much. So either this is all designed from the get-go, or from the beginning. So here's two things. One, this is just completely fabricated from the authorities. Why exactly? I don't know yet. Two, they did say this to each other, but it was preordained. They knew, like, hey, if I don't have a way out of this, oh shit, my camera shut off. We'll fix that in a second. It runs on batteries, so I got to replace the battery every time it shuts off. But so either they are like, hey, if I ever get caught, I'm gonna send you these text messages because the feds are gonna retrieve this no matter what, and this will absolve you of any wrongdoing. We're gonna show that you had nothing to do with this. Right? This is exonerating the trainee. That's what he wanted from the beginning. He sent if he did send this out, which is possible, he pre-written it like, hey, I'm going to send this out immediately because if they do catch me, I'm going to exonerate my gay boyfriend. But this is not natural. This is like off the cuff. Make the DNC illegal? Well, if we find that the DNC was funding some of these terrorist organizations, which Trump should do immediately, then yeah. Satanic Jews, you think the Jews are involved? Israel's involved? No human talks like this. Trans people are so much more retarded than this. There wasn't enough retardation on these excuse me, on these messages. Excuse me, my God. Yeah, but fake in some kind of way. You don't think I'm so sorry, guys. Something went down the wrong pipe. You don't think he was involved? Look, I don't know what to believe, honestly. We still don't know anything about Trump's shooter. I'm gonna go get another battery because it's kind of pissing me off that my camera's not on right now. Give me a hot moment, guys. I appreciate you guys watching on Rumble, on YouTube, on X. We are live on all three. We're multi-streaming, whatever platform you're watching. I don't require any money, no donations. If you feel like I got to give money to somebody today, do it to Charlie Kirk's organization, TPUSA. But if you would like to help my channel, just smash that like button. It's free. You don't have to do it, but I do appreciate it. We're going to take a quick little break, very, very short break, and I will be back. I'm going to grab a new battery, and I'm going to go pee because I'm about to piss myself. And we got some more juicy details for you guys. Hope you guys are ready. It's going to be a good one. And we'll be right back.
From the broken in the fire, through the ashes we will climb. The dust will settle. We will not. All together we will rise.
again.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's fake. Or Hillary, yeah. Or Obama. Who knows? Considering Israel, it could be Epstein. Well, I think Epstein is dead. Regardless if you think he killed himself or not, I think he's pretty dead. I don't trust the government a ton now that Trump is running it. Well, I think I trump it. I think I trust it a little bit more that Trump's involved. It doesn't mean that they're always going to be telling the truth. But would it be better if Kamala was running it? I don't think so. Would it be better if Hillary was running it? Nah. So we are. I think this is a good palate cleanser with Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is somebody who I've criticized a lot. I've criticized quite aggressively. But he said something that I actually agree with. I heard it today, and I said, "Huh, I actually agree with this. I need to play this on our channel." You scrub the video back and forth. It comes from in between the middle and the ring finger, and you can even see the mechanic using. I'm having such a hard time reading the chat. I gotta get a new lens, guys. Actual shooter was in Charlie's own security team. He's standing in front left of the crowd, barricade in a green-lit shirt with sleeves and sunglasses. He reaches up with the right hand to adjust his left sleeve, exact moment of shot. I'm not saying you don't have anything. It's possible. It's certainly possible. Who knows how deep it goes? But the odds of it being a LGBT trans activist is probably very likely. Yeah, sometimes the more simple solution is almost always the right one. A transgender activist hated Charlie, felt like, because more so than any other community, you look at the gay community, the black community, the trans community, more so than any other community, are the ones that constantly say words or violence. They all say it to an extent, but nobody says it more than the trans community, words or violence. So wouldn't it make sense to take out the guy whose whole shtick is words to talk? So it being some kind of trans activist, some kind of trans sympath, whatever you want to call him, because he wasn't actually trans himself, it would make sense, right? But certainly possible. But this is something I think is good to play, because I know the right has a lot of different factions, right? You have the rhinos, you have MAGA, you have the kind of Nick Fuentes Grapers, you have some of the more wishy-washy Republicans, but there's a lot of factions within the right, which is why we, even though our views are right, our views are sound, we have a lot of great people on our side. We make the argument but we still get our ass kicked every election. Now, I'm one of those. There's a reason I have 9 hard strikes on my YouTube channel. I don't trust elections, all right? I'm a nobody. I'm a small-time streamer. You guys see my view. I'm a small-time streamer. I have 9 hard strikes. All nine are because I questioned elections. So I just wanted to state that before I say anything else. I don't trust the elections. However, Trump proved that swamping them, as they said, does help. We won the election. And you know they didn't want Trump to win. Republicans hate him. Democrats hate him. They didn't want Trump in there. Hollywood hates him. Wall Street hates him. They all hate Trump. Is he perfect? No human being is perfect. There's no human being in existence that you're going to agree with 100% of the time. They don't exist. Doesn't mean you completely disown them just because you don't agree with every little tiny thing. But you got to look at the overall. You got to look at the majority. And even though, like I said, our arguments are sound, we still lose elections so easily. The Democrats don't campaign. They don't do anything. And they still win. Which is why I do think we need to unite. We need to stop with you're MAGA, you're Glory Boys, you're this, you're that. We have a common enemy. Dude, this is like X-Men 2, all right? When X-Men team up with the Brotherhood, Magneto teams up with Xavier. They say, we hate each other, right? Kind of. We can't stand each other. But we have a greater enemy right now. One of the best films of all time. Let's team up. Let's take them down. We can fight later. Don't worry about that. We will fight later. But right now, we got to team up. We got to fight. And that's how it is with right now with politics. Do you support everything Charlie Kirk says? There's no human being in existence that you're going to agree with 100% of the time. That's absurd. For the most part, yeah. I agree with a lot of what he says. I was actually very critical of Charlie Kirk, which is why I got a little choked up on my first video, because I felt bad for some of the things I said about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, we're going to disagree. We're not always going to be hand in hand. It happens. That's why I think this clip from Matt Walsh is really good. I thought he was on point here.
So that's one really important piece of this that we need. And then the other piece going forward, and we've talked about this a little bit, is unity. Not just random. You know, you can't just say, hey, everyone, let's unite. Let's be united. You can't go, if you go up to a group of 1,000 people and say, hey, let's unite, guys. They're going to look at you and say, and they're going to ask, well, what do you mean? To do what? Unite around for what? What are we uniting? I'm not going to unite with you unless I know what we're doing. And so that's why a lot of the calls for just sort of generic unity in America don't really work, because there's always the question of around what. But as conservatives, as people on the right, you know, we can unite, and we should. And I think what we need to do is put to the side a lot of our inner, you know, our squabbles, our family feuds. Put all that to the side for now. We can get back to a lot of that stuff. We probably will. I'm sure
Conservatives
we will.
always do.
We will always get back to it. But for right now, we have more important things to do, because one thing I know for sure, and there are plenty of conservatives who I've been known to get into feuds here and there with people. But here's what I know. And we saw this with Charlie, that if I walk out of this building and I get killed, that every conservative, even the ones that I've feuded with, that they will not be happy about that. They will mourn that. They will mourn that. And the same if it happened to any of us, they'll mourn it. Even the people, the conservatives, didn't like us. But I also know that on the left, they won't share in that mourning for the most part. And so kind of the friend-enemy distinction is easy for me to see. The people who will mourn your death are your friends. The people who will dance on your grave and laugh in the face of your grieving wife are your enemies in this battle, and so that's where the unity needs to come.
The wretched demons, honestly. Please,
Where
do we go next?
You cannot have a marketplace of any kind, of ideas or of goods, if people are shooting up the marketplace. And it's not even just the murderer.
I will say real quick before we we'll dip into a little bit of what Michael Knowles said, but what Matt Walsh said, I 100% agree with. Like, obviously, there is some disconnect with MAGA, with some more of the Gab social, Nick Fuentes, Groypers, whatever you want to call them. Some people in between, but we have a common enemy. We might not agree with everything, and that's what I hate about a lot of people. I don't think anybody's exempt. MAGA, Groypers, Rhinos, everybody's guilty of this. Everybody's guilty, is that they want a perfect outcome. And you're not going to get that. It's a part of growing up. Things aren't always going to go your way. You're not always going to have somebody at your side that you agree with 100% of the time. There's no human being in existence that you're going to agree with 100% of the time. They don't exist. It doesn't happen. But unfortunately, everybody, again, nobody's exempt. MAGA, Groypers, Rhinos, everybody's guilty of this. They all try to find the perfect candidate. As you can't find that. They don't exist. They never will exist. If you want somebody to run that you're going to agree with 100% of the time, run yourself. Because the other point doesn't exist. So it's okay, well, what do you do? Well, we're grown-ups, so we live in the real world. We have to take what is given to us. You want to say Trump's not perfect? Yeah, he wasn't. But was he better than Kamala? Absolutely. We would still have January 6ers rotting in prison right now. We would be worse than January 6ers. I might even be arrested. You might even be arrested. Thrown in jail, prison. It would have gotten so bad. You can look at the individual policies and everything of Trump, but you got to think of the overall. That we avoided a catastrophic thing with Kamala not winning. So it's like, do I agree with every little tiny thing Trump says? No, but he was the better pick, so that's who I voted for. I disagree with Trump on this. Okay, so do I. But you're not always going to get your way. Not everything's going to go your way 100%. But you got to go with the best option. But point is, we do need to unite. We do need to fight the enemies. They do want us dead. They do want to kill us. That the Western culture is superior? No, we are superior. The United States of America is better than everybody else. We are superior than everybody else. Yeah. It's funny, they're like, you shouldn't say anybody's better than anybody else. I'm like, really? I'm like, would you say you're better than a child rapist? Well, yeah, but it's okay. So you're superior to them. Liberals are demons, like you said. You do not give Democrat rights to demons. There's definitely a difference. I see what you're saying. I understand the anger. We do got to be careful of it because right now we have the high ground. Right now we have the moral high ground. And if we do something stupid, we're going to lose that, and that matters. Because unfortunately, the left is always going to vote left. The right's always going to vote right. We got to win over the moderates if we're going to win elections. If you don't think elections are important, then you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
In this case, because there are freaks everywhere and horrible events happen, but the loud and widespread celebration of that sort of thing shows us that there are three steps. Step one is we want to have a robust conversation in a good country, right? But we are where
you exercise your Second Amendment rights to protect yourself and protect your family, which I absolutely will do. We are never on the attack. We do not attack. We do that, we lose everything.
We are in a degraded and dangerous place. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, flourishing and speech and national unity. But there is that step 2. There is that question, how do we get there? And there is no liberty without order. And
We will say this. I will say, I like Michael Knowles, but we've heard that before. Do I have it here? I should, I think. Hang on, hold on. Interesting. We'll play a little bit of this real quick. I think it's important because now we're having a big discussion about unity. We're having a big discussion about both sides this, both sides that. JD Vance laid it out very well, I thought.
Magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits. The very evidence she provides, this hack of a writer, shows that she lied about a dead man, and yet she wrote it. An esteemed magazine published it. It made it through the editors, and of course, liberal billionaires rewarded that attack. Now, of course, even if Charlie had uttered those words, it wouldn't mean that he deserved his fate. But consider the level of propaganda at work. Charlie was gunned down in broad daylight, and well-funded institutions of the left lied about what he said so as to justify his murder. This is soulless and evil. But I was struck not just by the dishonesty of this smear, but by the glee over a young husband's and young father's death. Quote, she says, "He was an unrepentant racist, transphobe, homophobe, and misogynist."
Yep.
The Nation wrote,
That's what they say.
who often wrapped his bigotry in Bible verses because there was no other way to pretend that it was morally correct. He had children, as do many vile people. That's what they said. He had children, as do many vile people. Now, hours before this smear was published, my wife and I had the honor of escorting Charlie's body back to his home in Arizona. We took his wife, Erica, we love you, his parents, his sister, and a few of his best friends with us. And as they offloaded Charlie's casket from Air Force Two, I worried that Erica would collapse with grief. Now, I'm a very lucky husband to a very wonderful wife, but I have never been prouder of my wife than that moment as she held Erica in Erica's very darkest hour. And I thought of Erica as I read that disgusting attack on Charlie. He had children, as do many vile people. That's what they said about him. I said the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I asked Usha what Erica had said to her earlier in the day in a private moment, and I asked Erica's permission to share this. My wife told me, she asked me, For advice, Erica asked me for advice on how she should tell her children that their father had been murdered. She asked my wife how to tell her beautiful kids that their father and my very dear friend is no longer with us. And as she was doing it, there were people dancing on that father's grave. Now, I have heard many calls in the last few days for unity and for healing in the wake of Charlie's assassination. You have no idea how desperately I want that, how gratified I was when Democratic friends and even former Senate colleagues reached out to offer their condolences to me. I'm so thankful. And I know there are so many like them all across our great country. I am desperate to wrap my arms around them as we all unite to condemn political violence and the ideas that cause it.
I was always saying that, like, how do you, that's going to be the most, like, heartbreaking thing. Like, how do you tell a 3-year-old, because a 1-year-old's, like, probably can't even understand most language yet. Like, how do you tell a 3-year-old, you don't have to flat out say your dad's been murdered. I mean, she doesn't even understand the word yet, but how do you understand, how do you tell a 3-year-old your dad's not coming home? Because, like, even if you say, like, your dad's been hurt, he went home to be with the Lord and all that, they're still not going to understand. They're going to be okay. Well, is Daddy going to be home tomorrow for breakfast? They're not going to be able to comprehend. No matter any combination of words you have, they're not going to understand it. I can't think of anything more heartbreaking. I don't have kids. I hope I do one day. But I just want to know how to, like, how do you say that? How do you tell a kid that young your dad's not coming home? I think about that a lot. I've been thinking about that ever since he was assassinated. Like, how do you, those poor kids, the son, 1 year old, he's never going to know his dad. When he gets old enough, I don't know what age that would be appropriate to say. Tell me about my dad. Who was my dad? They're going to have to tell you your dad was a great man, but he was killed because he spoke the truth. They're not just going to create they're not going to create aggressive right-wing voices with the children. They're going to create that with an art. We already have over, 54,000 signups for for Turning Point USA. Record number of donations on the right. Erica Kirk said, "You don't know what you've done. You don't know you unleashed on this country." And they're right. I saw a comment from a left winger who was kind of glad Charlie was dead, but said, he's like, even though, I don't care about Kirk, he's like, unfortunately, he does do more good in his death than he did alive. I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but I do see what he's saying. Like, I've never seen people on the right this amped up, this united. I kept saying Republicans are going to lose the midterms 100%. I don't think that anymore. I don't believe that anymore. I don't. We have a quick video real quick. My computer is not loading. What is going on here? All right. Do I have here? Why are the icons so small? God damn, I can't read anything. There we go. I normally don't listen to Nick Fuentes. I don't have anything against him personally. His voice is a little annoying. A little nasally. So is mine, though, to be fair. Not exactly my cup of tea. We have a little disagreement. Obviously, Nick Fuentes did not think electing Trump was that important at all. I did. I think we saved the country by electing Trump. I think if Kamala Harris was in charge, we would be seeing an evil that we can't even comprehend. January 6ers would still be rotting in jail, probably worse. Some of them probably facing the death penalty if she won. So yeah, there is a lot of good. Trying to share my monitor. Hang on. Share. Oh, it doesn't share the entire screen. My God. Oh. It's the wrong button. Hang on. I'm trying real hard. Still not good. There we go.
These people that are now selling t-shirts with Charlie Kirk and a bullet wound in his neck, they cannot be negotiated with. You cannot debate with them. You cannot persuade them to vote Republican. You cannot appeal to them. You will never convince them that you're a good person, that you just want the best for everybody. You will never get them to stop hating you. People like to say, well, can the left finally admit that they have their own problem? They'll never admit that. They'll never admit that. These craven losers, that person that when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, instinctually got up and turned and celebrated. If your gut reaction to seeing someone take a bullet in the neck and their face explode, and their young children run up to them because they were afraid of the noise, if your reaction was to grin and celebrate, you must be eradicated from our society.
I agree with that. Of course, they'll take that as some sort of hate speech. He's calling for violence. No, he's saying you shouldn't be part of society. You're going to lose your job. You're going to have a hard time paying your bills. Life is going to get rough for you. And it should. Because you're a demon. You don't deserve to have the same privileges and rights that we do. All right, we're going to shift gears a bit. And here's this, excuse me. I thought I had it here. The exchange. We'll do the Kash Patel stuff real quick, and then we'll go to the same Hyde stuff. Kash Patel went off on Adam Schiff, Watermelon Head, and it was good.
People to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
Not in the weeds?
What I am doing is
most-
protecting this country,
the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness,
weaponization of
the
intelligence
Epstein
by the likes
files
of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the
the
biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter
And
coward.
I'm not surprised
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of the California. We are bringing historic reform.
Point of order.
But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
You said
take
I'm the
control
most
of this
transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. We'll go one more with Kash, man. He's on fire, man. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Why is Watermelon Head Pencil Neck Shift on any committee? Seriously. He's been a proven liar. Do you guys remember when he went on those talk shows and said, I have the proof? I have the proof that Trump worked with Putin. Never happened.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do you want to say anything?
Yes,
at this
sir.
point?
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If
You're
you
gonna
want to
lecture
talk
me
about
dividing this country,
it is
I
my
follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tears
my
this country
time
apart.
to
There
address
should be a
your
unifying.
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can
embarrassment
try all
to the
you
division
want
in this
to
country.
not take
It is
responsibility
my time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what my
you
time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me
Sir,
my time's over.
You may be the charge of the
I'm not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And he has the privilege to do that uninterrupted.
Mr.
So
Chairman, one point of
go
order.
ahead, Mr.
I've
Patel.
watched him talk over us, and you've never once criticized him for us not even being able to get our questions out.
Well,
he has been rude and disrespectful to senator after senator.
And when the senators were not giving him a chance to answer, I didn't stop the senator either. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the FBI, under my 7-month leadership, were failing this administration in this country, why do we have 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone? A double increase from that time last year. Why is it that we have seized 6,000 weapons? Why have we found 1,500 child predators and arrested them? Why have we 300 human traffickers in jail? Why have we found and identified 4,700 children? Why have we seen 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to kill a third of the American public, a 25% increase alone from last year? 88,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, 1,700 kilograms of meth seized, and that's just on our criminal operations in summer heat. How is it possible that we're taking 8 kilograms off the streets of the cities in New Jersey and preventing the deaths of 607,000 people this year alone, a failure of the FBI and my leadership? How is it that we have counterintelligence arrests already this year exceeding the numbers from the entirety of last year? 33% increase in PRC, 83% in Russia, 60% in the CI space as it relates to Iran, and we haven't even talked about CT, the southern border, the northern border.
Before Senator Cruz, I kind of feel like a
He's right. I mean, they're doing some work. They're doing a lot of work. Nobody wants to give them credit for it. We are going to go with the Sam Hyde. This is you. This is powerful. This is a very powerful video. Everybody should watch. We're going to hit that right after the break. Give me 2 seconds. And we'll go right back at it. Appreciate you guys watching.
We're active in about 15 campuses, and we're growing very, very quickly. And keep in mind, this is not just a flash in the pan movement. We're going to become an institution to give them the power and the confidence to stand up and let their voice be heard. I started this organization when I was 18 years old. I decided not to go to college. I didn't get in my dream school, which was the United States Military Academy at West Point. I have this idea to galvanize and motivate the future youth of this country around a core set of ideas, not just political parties or politicians. And the ideas are really America's the greatest country in the history of the world. The Constitution is the greatest political document ever written, and free enterprise is the most assured way to lift people out of poverty and create prosperity for all. Those are the three big ideas. And I think that's something that can win. We as Christians are called to go into the public arena to correct error with truth. So I go to college campuses and there's a lot of error. We're all sinners. We all live in error. I'm far more interested in what God wants of me than what I want from God.
I have to say this without getting emotional, but I'm very proud of my husband. And I know many of you are too. You have worked so hard. And I know a lot of you have seen, obviously, his videos on TikTok and all the stuff he does on campus, but no one gets to see him from my angle except for myself and our children. And the sacrifices that he made this year, he's amazing. I'm very blessed.
And I would not have been able to do any of it without Erica. And that's the real truth. I'll tell you what. You are here as a grassroots response to the top-down revolution happening in this country. I want our Turning Point USA students to receive a round of applause. These are the freedom fighters of America.
The media said that Turning Point could never run a ground game. They weren't experienced. They didn't know Charlie, right?
This is the greatest generational realignment since Woodstock. This generation is the most conservative generation that we have seen in well over 50 years, and the numbers show it. What young people especially are screaming at is they say, give me a structure that I can live my life by. And especially with young men, more challenging of them, more saying, you know what, honestly, I'm not gonna talk down to you. Stop being a boy and become a man. You want to learn what that means? Come to church and I'll tell you what it means to become a man. Because we have the greatest story ever told. What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day because you are doing the work to save this beautiful republic. You are doing something that is bigger than you.
If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
It's a good video. This is a good video. We're not gonna play the entire thing, but I think it's good to at least play some of it. Maybe the most important video on the internet right now. I'll link it on my socials. Actually, I already have, but I'll link it again. Sam Hyde, this is you. Should have it right here. Here we go.
This is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. But this right here is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. This is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. But this is you. And this is their reaction when you are killed. This is the joy they feel when your sister is raped, when your children are castrated, brainwashed to hate you. This is their ecstasy when the floor of the subway car is awash in your blood. This is you. Make no mistake, That is a symbol. That is you. But this won't last long. They can't help themselves because they're so ugly and so low that the only joy they can experience, the only good that they can envision is to take something beautiful or innocent down to their level. And when they can't do it, the next best thing is blood. This is Charlie's family, and these are his children who will never be able to hug their dad and grow up with a murdered father. And these are the people who smugly revel in this, and they won't stop with just Charlie. The boats are burned. There's nobody coming to help. The barbarians are at the gate. This is the fall of ancient Rome that we are living through currently. And what happens in the next 2 weeks is going to determine the future of mankind. That's not hyperbole. That's just how it is. A few notes before we start. I've seen some Twitter posts from people lamenting, apologizing, because their last interactions with Charlie were less than kind. And congratulations if that's you, because that's proof that you have a soul. And similarly, I think we had to cut 30 minutes from the last episode of Sam Hyde Show because I called him something not nice. Some people offering their condolences, paying their respects, etc. Started off with a qualifier. Well, I didn't agree with Charlie on everything. Essentially that he wasn't based enough. And this is fine too. We all have some strain of autism that is compels us to constantly signal how based we are, and that's fine. And it's fine because we're stuck with this problem together. We're in this together. This is banter. It's for us to talk about. It's for our side to talk about. It's not for outsiders to try to use logic against us, to try to hold us to rules that they don't hold themselves to. That's all that needs to be said about it. The fact is, Charlie Kirk is a martyr.
Yep.
He is a Christian white martyr.
Absolutely.
If you are Christian, if you are white, if you're a shit lib who miraculously somehow still believes in free speech, Charlie Kirk died for you. And he probably would have done it, anyway.
So you want to know how serious this is? How bad it was? You're getting Sam Hyde to get choked up on a video. Not doing a bit. This is real. This is a real, raw emotion. Things have changed forever. And they're never going back.
He is a Christian white martyr. If you are Christian, if you are white, if you're a shit lib who miraculously somehow still believes in free speech, Charlie Kirk died for you. And he probably would have done it, anyway. I talked to Alex Stein a lot about him. He probably still would have done it if he knew he was going to die doing it. And we are all united now in a battle for the soul of mankind. And by the way, this is why we have free speech in the first place. It's not because of some 1960s hippie commie staged faggotry that we have free speech. It's not because Mr. Jew in a bow tie went on a bus and marched on Washington The reason we have free speech is because at pivotal stages throughout human history, Christian white men mostly have decided that, yes, actually, it would be worth dying to prove a point. That's how it happened. That's how we got this. The free speech that you enjoy, to the extent that you're able to have free speech, is because of that, is because of men like this. Irony posters, anybody who's irony posting right now, I haven't seen too much of it, but for the sake of your own souls, you might not want to do that.
Yep.
And I say
Preach.
that as somebody who didn't always take everything as seriously as I should. And there's, you know, you don't have to take everything seriously, but there's a wrong time to do stuff. And it might have spiritual ramifications. I'm worried for you. That's all why I'm saying it.
I like that.
And lastly, important thing before...
Spiritual ramifications. He's right.
You don't have to take everything seriously, but there's a wrong time to do stuff. And it might have spiritual ramifications. I'm worried for you. That's all why I'm saying it. And lastly, important thing before rocking out here. I think that we are all so smart and internet savvy that it's not possible for someone like me or like you or like little Timmy Thomas on his computer. He's got 10 Discord channels. He's a computer wizard.
Timmy Thomas is prolific on Discord.
It would be impossible for someone as smart as us to fall for any kind of psyop or emotional manipulation at a time like this. But on the off chance that this is a very small chance, on the off chance that somebody somewhere with an agenda, there's almost no chance this is happening. No. On the off chance that somebody somewhere with an agenda might be looking to capitalize on this event, spin it for nefarious purposes, very small chance this is happening. I can't see this happening. Even though we're so smart, it might behoove us to...
What is going on here? Hang on. Why is that playing? Hang on. That was weird. I don't know why. All right, we'll do a few more minutes of this and then we're going to call it. I don't want to play his entire video. So the whole point is to go watch the video, but I thought it was important to at least play the beginning.
To choose our words, would you say carefully?
Cautiously, carefully, intentionally.
A degree of precision. Discriminately, including your own internal dialogue. No matter what the result of the speculation is, the end result is the same, and that's that you, white man, are under attack. And that's that. Let's take a look at who our enemies are here. I tweeted at the Quartering, because he said, I love the Quartering, he's my guy. He said, don't look at the video. You got to look at these videos. You have to know what these people are trying to do to you. You have to know, you don't even have a family. That's the thing. You don't have a family because they've set up this clown world where you're convinced not to start a family. It's economically impossible to start a family. But if you had even if you had a family, you don't even know what's been taken from you. This is what's so fucked up. You have to watch these. You have to know that there is evil out there in the world. This isn't like being 15 and watching Best Gore or something. That you have to know that there is evil out there in the world. There's this idea of the seen versus the unseen. And I got to say, thank God Irina Zarutska was hot.
No, it doesn't. It calls more attention to it.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
For every one of these people being killed who could be a relative of yours, it could be someone you cared about, it could be you. For every one of these people, there are thousands. Just alone in the UK, the girls being raped. Isn't it like over 100,000? How many is it? We don't see it because there's no video of it, and the media is not publicizing it.
And the details of each and every one of those are like science fiction level. I can't comprehend how bad, like, yeah.
And then the police in the UK arresting the victims. That's a common pattern I've noticed too.
Yeah.
Fucking faggots, man.
Like folded into that one video of her getting stabbed is like, hundreds of thousands of people are.
It makes the magnitude of the problem obvious even to boomers and retards on Facebook.
Right.
Which is why that video is important. It's why you have to memorize it. You can't let this stuff fade away.
No, I agree. It's a very important video. Go watch it. Sam Hyde, This Is You. It's maybe the most important video on the internet right now for our time. He articulates it very well, the emotion and everything, because it's just so raw. I mean, we normally don't see Sam Hyde choked up and all that like this. It's a different. It's you don't normally see it, and he mentioned something about the no turning point. Like we're not going to go back before this time. It's not like I think even so much with the Trump assassination and stuff like this is different. Things have changed forever. And there is no going back whatsoever. There's never going to be a time in history before Charlie Kirk. Like we've hit some kind of turning point. We hit some kind of point of no return. This is different. And we need to be amped up and we need to be angry. We need to get involved. Volunteer. Sign up. Do what you can. TPUSA.com. I'm not a sponsor for them whatsoever, but it's good to look into their organization. We need to unite. We need to connect. We need to be an army. We need to be a massive army against this evil, against these demons. Because that's what we're dealing with. This is not left versus right anymore. This is good versus evil. These people can't be negotiated with. I feel like almost like the quote from The Dark Knight, where he said they can't be bullied, negotiated with, bribed, or anything like that. He's like, some men just want to watch the world burn. And that's what we have with these leftists, with the Democrat Party. Are there some exceptions? Or are some people on the left that say, hey, I don't want any part of it? Sure, there's exceptions to literally everything in life. But the overwhelming majority support this violence. You have people in the House of Representatives shouting no. When Lauren Boebert said we should pray for Charlie Kirk, they shouted no, we're not doing it. They were angry. We're not doing it. The House of Representatives, electors, we voted for them. This is not a fringe on the left. This is the majority of them. This is the Democratic Party. We are dealing with demons. There's no both sides this, both sides that. You're blackpilling? Charlie Kirk was assassinated for speaking and you're blackpilling? I know there's a lot of people out there, especially on the right, who don't believe in voting. What's the point, right? This is the point right here. You see how evil they are. They are killing us in cold blood. The House of Representatives, they have people in there that are okay with the murder of Charlie Kirk. Anytime you hear the word but or also, you know they're fully in support of the assassination. We condemn violence, right? But you don't condemn it then. We condemn violence, but you also got to remember, you don't condemn it. They fully support it. AOC, Ilhan Omar, Nancy Pelosi. They've said it time and time again. There's no shortage of videos of them calling for violence, of encouraging it. We can't make nice with these people. I'm not going to make nice with these people. My block list has gone from 0 to a couple of hundred in just a week. I'm done with it. I'm done with talking to them. We try to debate. They don't want to debate. So when I see a left winger in my comments, I don't even care if what they're saying is somewhat reasonable. You're blocked. You're done. We tried to negotiate. Shot us in the neck. We're not doing it anymore. And we're going to keep it going here on this channel. Let me know in the comments your guys' thoughts. Like and subscribe. If you guys want to support this channel, it goes a long way. We're going to try to get to my gaming channel hopefully this weekend. You guys can check the description below at Cavs_arcade is my gaming handle. We have everything else linked in the description below. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys are awesome. Again, if you guys want to support the channel, not asking for money, no sponsors, no nothing. Just like, subscribe, goes a long way. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you, Eric Johnson, the Apple, Tomo, Rose Gold. Appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Hope you guys have a good night. If you guys want to join me on the weekend, we'll do some gaming, some more lighthearted stuff. But we got a lot of streams coming, a lot of content coming, and hope you guys are here for the ride because I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Good night, guys.
This lion, he's the king of the jungle. Huge mane out there. He's so big. He's so hot. Now, the little lion cubs, they start messing with him. Biting his tail, biting his ears. He doesn't do anything. The lioness, she starts messing with him. Coming over, making trouble. Still, nothing. Now, the other animals, they notice this. And they start to move in. The jackals, hyenas, they're barking at him, laughing at him. They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, till one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody, runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.